Hello X-Factory friends and family, this is Paul Sinclair with another famous track walk video. We are here at the 2017 Motorama 1/10 scale track, and we're going to show you the features and the difficult sections and the technical parts of the 1/10 scale track here at Motorama. With me is longtime X-Factory friend, family, kind of everything, Cristo. I think the last time we had you on video was a video cast like 3.5 or something at RC Madness.
Oh yeah, the short course race.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anything? It's been a while.
It has been a while, yeah.
So, repping the Pro Line.
Yep.
Pro Line, you're running for them.
Yep.
Good products.
Very good.
So, here at Motorama, of course, the big drama, the big confusion this year is that always before this track was built out of basically yellow or orange river bottom clay.
Yep.
And it always had, you can speak, like we almost ran slicks in practice, and then the track would dry out through the weekend and you'd run kind of a indoor clay style tire, right?
Yep.
Well, what is it this year, Chris?
It's just good old topsoil.
Good old topsoil. They brought in the dirt from the arena cross. Motocross is this giant, we don't have time to get into it in a simple track walk video, but a giant collection of arena cross and go-karts and car shows and everything else under the sun. So they use the same dirt that they use in the arena cross for the 10th scale track this year. And so it's been a real steep learning curve for everybody. The track crew, the racers, the race director, is to figure out what is the surface going to do, what kind of tires should we be running, and so on and so forth. So it's been interesting and it's been fun, but so far it's been really good, I'd say.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think this dirt is much better than the previous years because they can let it dry out.
Right.
The other stuff is stored outside, and like last year it was soaking wet. And
right, super bumpy.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll start as we always do here at the start-finish line. Any comments about the end of the straightaway here? So the start finish is at the end of the straightaway into this kind of tight sweeper. Any comments from your cars or your driving experience?
No, I mean, this is pretty easy. You tend to push a little bit if you're getting a little too fast in here, but nothing too
Something
crazy.
we'll be talking about throughout this track walk video is the amount of dust that builds up in the corners. And we got the track crew working behind us. They're prepping this track for tomorrow, so some of these corners are going to look really clean. And the sweeper here, of course, you can see that dust build up, that darker shade on the outside of the sweeper. Off the straightaway is a simple sweeper into a short chute. And like Chris said, your car tends to push out wide. You can see the dirt cleared and kind of a groove forming out here as people round this off and try to carry as much speed off the straightaway as they can into the front jump section. We'll take a look at that next. All right, so off the straightaway we have this sweeper that we were talking about where it's kind of a sharper corner off the straight, but you're really trying to carry just as much speed as you can. Everyone's trying to round out this corner because you need that speed for the biggest jump section on the track. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this is probably the hardest part of the track right here.
Yep. Especially in two-wheel where you're scrambling for traction in that forward bite.
Yep.
So Chris and I here are standing on what would you describe this as, Chris? This first part?
Single table.
Single table. That's what I was kind of thinking.
Something.
Yeah, it's kind of just a double, really. No one's landing up where you're standing.
Yeah.
But the easy line through here is just to again, we're carrying speed. We scrub a little bit on the face of this jump, and we land on the downside here, right? But immediately after this little kind of single tabletop section is another tabletop, and this is where you can really make up time, because if you can carry your speed off that straightaway and hit this jump hard enough, you can land on top of this second tabletop or even clear it if you're really good. I've been able to clear it once or twice with my short course truck, but I'm usually landing on top. What's your kind of line?
This is my nemesis. So
it's your nemesis?
Yeah,
you're playing the safe roll?
Yep, absolutely.
I saw a lot of people even in the A qualifiers playing that safe roll.
Yeah, for me, just to land this downside and then brake and then make the
get
turn.
That hard right hand 180. I will say I am seeing a lot of wrecks coming through here too, because the guys are carrying all that speed, and then there's so little room to slow down that it's easy to hit that other guy who's maybe out a little wider. How about in four-wheel? Are you clearing the whole thing there pretty easy? Nope, even there.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, a lot of the top guys, that's where you're seeing the difference for those, the 20.8s, the 20.9s, or the 19-second laps in four wheels, is those top guys clearing this whole jump section. It is definitely the hardest section of the track. It leads into the slowest section of the track. We have here, the switchbacks? What do you want to call these, Chris?
Switchbacks. Yep.
The switchbacks. So a tight right-hand 180 leading into a tight left-hand 180 and another tight right-hand 180. It's pretty simple, but it's easy to mess up. Would you say this flows pretty well, Chris, or
Yeah.
you using the brakes and kind of, squaring them off and shooting from one to the other?
It flows okay.
Yeah?
I mean, I definitely have come in here, too hot and had to
Get on the binders.
Yeah.
The Motorama track crew really did a nice job with these curbs. It's a little touch, but it adds a lot to the track. It makes it look way more professional. Keeps that inside front tire from catching, right?
Yep.
You can put it on the curbing, and what do you say? You don't catch the tubes.
Yep, absolutely.
So after this kind of infield slower section, we come out of this the third right-hand sharp corner, and it leads into this chicane and the off camber. And we'll talk about that next. So after those tight switchbacks, the slow section of the track continues into this big round, kind of roundabout off camber here, right? And I think this is definitely the infield section of the track. And this off camber, it may not show in the camera angle, but it's, what would you say, 18 inches, 12 inches tall?
Yeah, about that. Yep.
And it really affects the lines that you have to take as a driver on this track. You can attack it early and come in high, but then you'll tend to wash out and you have to exit wide. Or you can turn out of the right-hand corner before the off camber earlier and try to late apex the off camber here. And carry your speed off this off camber and get a run down. Which kind of line do you think you prefer, Chris?
I usually tend to do the little bit wide.
And then take it later?
Yeah.
So you get to kind of drive up the off camber.
Right.
This is also a really good opportunity to talk about just how dusty this track is getting. If we zoom in here, you can see that on the line, it's pretty clear.
Yep,
and in fact, some drivers, some of the very top drivers, we just saw JP Richards in his four-wheel and Alex K in his four-wheel run green dirt webs, which is, your indoor clay style tread pattern. But if you get off the line, this dust builds up something fierce, and it is slippery as all get out. So a lot of people, myself included, Cristo, I think you are right, running kind of a pin type tire, like a double D. What are you running on your stuff?
My four-wheel, I'm running M4 blockades front and rear, and on my two-wheel, I'm running tasers in the rear and 3-rib up front. Okay.
So, yeah, that's the off-camber section. It leads out into the fast jump rhythm section. We'll go there next. So after that off-camber, slower speed infield section, we come to the high-speed jump section of the track. This is a real kind of an easy left-hand corner, and you accelerate into this double. Everyone's making the double, of course. This is super easy.
Double's simple.
But tell me about the triple that follows here, Chris.
Yeah, so the triple isn't really that tough to make, except you have a left-hander right after it.
A really sharp left-hander, more than 90 degrees, right.
Yeah,
and you can...
pretty beat up.
Yeah, so you can see it's a high speed. There's not much angle here. If we zoom in down low, you can see there's very little lip. This jump is not built up to throw your car. So the trick is, and it's a fairly easy section, as Chris alluded to, but the trick is to get your car down easy after the double, so you don't want to sky out that double, and accelerate all the way into the face of this triple jump. But we can see not everyone's making this high-speed triple. The landing is taking quite a beating. We have all these divots from cars digging in and throwing their dust. And then, as Chris said, we have this hard left-hand corner right after the triple jump. So you're carrying perhaps what's the highest speed except for the straightaway, right? This is the most speed you have. And yet you got to get on the brakes and slow down for this left-hand. So landing this high-speed triple, as Chris said, you really got to work hard to make this left-hand corner. But the track builders here gave us a really nice feature to help us with that. And it's hard to see maybe with the camera angle, but the track has a slight raised, almost an on-camber section to it. If we step over here, you can see it's very low, right where my feet are here, but there's an uphill section right here that's really going to help you scrub all that high speed that we carried over our triple and make this tight left-hand corner. And after the left-hand corner, we're just going to hit it. We power down through this short chute, and we hit the small double on the far left-hand side of the track. So the short chute, we're just laying down the power here, and you can see that there are some ripples and some bumps and some waviness to it. I think as those tires are putting down power, those little pins are, you know, scrubbing away at the dirt and digging some ruts and some bumps. But it's a pretty easy section of the track. We make the right-hander and we hit the double. Any comments about the double here, Chris?
No, I mean, it's pretty simple. You know, you can downside it and hit the apex pretty easily.
Yeah.
Not tough.
Do you ever short it? I've seen a lot of cars, you know, tap those back wheels and then snap roll because they're trying to be too cute with it.
Right.
Right?
I haven't, but yeah.
Right. It's a busier Marshall spot than you'd think. So anyway, after the double, we have this kind of high-speed chicane going uphill. Nothing much to this, kind of just make sure you don't hit the pipe on the left there. And then we climb the hill up here to the entrance of the straightaway. This is a pretty tight apex, but I haven't seen a lot of issues up here. Have you, Chris?
No, I usually just the only thing I've seen is people missing the apex and kind of blowing up.
Right. So, you know, you stay tight here. And again, with this kind of lower traction, you know, dirt rather than the clay mix, it is easy if you're trying to put the power down the straightaway to kind of blow your apex.
Yep.
But as long as you're carrying speed, this is a pretty easy section of the track.
Yep.
Thanks for watching. Make it up. All right.
Chaz said that you edit this heavily, so
yeah,
if you edit me completely out, that's okay.
No, don't worry about it. I want you, Chaz, focus.